Good evening, everyone. Glad you're able to join us for devotional tonight. I just want to share with you from Luke chapter 7, verses 2 through 10. It's a story that you've probably have heard before, and I just want to read it, and just a couple points I want to point out so that you can think about and pray about. So starting in verse 2, and a certain centurion's servant who was dear to him was sick and ready to die. So when he heard about Jesus, he sent elders of the Jews to him, pleading with him to come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they begged him earnestly, saying that the one for whom he should do this was deserving. For he loves our nation and has built us a synagogue. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was already not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying to him, Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. Therefore, I do not even think myself worthy to come to you, but say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him, and turned around, and said to the crowd that followed him, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. And those who were sent, returning to the house, found the servant well who had been sick. So there's three things I see in this piece of scripture, and it's actually three things that the centurion shows us. The centurion shows us compassion, he shows us humility, and he shows us faith. So he shows us compassion for his servant, and it says it was one who was dear to him. Then he shows us humility in verses 6 and the first part of 7, and says, Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof. And then he says, therefore, I do not even think myself worthy to come to you. So he's actually a humble man, even though he's a man of authority. And then he shows us faith in the second half of 7, 8, and 9. And he says, but say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. And then verse 9, he says, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. So Jesus is saying this about the centurion, that he has great faith. Now, based on those three qualities, those three things we see in the centurion, I see three questions we need to ask ourselves based on these things. First question, are you exercising compassion towards others like the centurion? I mean, the centurion, by all means, did not have to exercise compassion because he was in charge. You got to do what he says, doesn't matter if you like it or not. But it's interesting that the centurion actually found the people that worked under him dear to him. He valued them. They weren't just property. They weren't just people that were there for him to accomplish his goal. He exercised compassion. Are you exercising compassion like the centurion? Second question. Are you exercising humility in your relationship with Christ? I mean, the centurion did. He said, and I'm quoting this, I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof. And then he said, and I'm not worthy to even come to you. Why would a man of such authority be so humble? Because he knows who he really is. You know, he knows, I do believe that he actually knew who Jesus Christ was to be able to make a request like this of him and to humble himself before him like this. And then third question, are you exercising faith in God's omnipotence? The centurion believed in God's power. That he said to Jesus, you don't even need to, don't come here. First of all, I'm not worthy for you to come into my house. And I'm not even worthy to even show myself to you. And I believe that you can do it right from there. You know, do you believe God like that? I mean, the centurion did. These are some questions that we need to answer honestly. Are we exercising compassion? Are we exercising humility in our relationship with God? And are we exercising faith? Do we really believe what God says? You know, if you read the Bible, God says some pretty huge things. Do you believe him? So it's a couple questions I want to leave you with tonight. 3 questions I want to leave you with tonight to think about. And then as you start to answer these questions, it might not even be this evening. It might take a little bit of time as you come up with some honest answers to these questions on compassion, humility, and faith in your life. Then hopefully the answers you get encourage you to respond to that. And if there needs to be a change, to make that change. So this is my encouragement to you. Ask yourself these questions. Are you exercising compassion? Are you exercising humility in your relationship with Christ? And are you exercising faith in God's omnipotence, God's power? All right, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.